Hey y'all, so happy Hoodoo Heritage Month and welcome to the first day of Hoodoo, the 31 days of Hoodoo, excuse me. We are going to talk about altar spaces. Now, I want to preface this topic by saying, please do not feel as though you need to be rushed into doing anything. Please do not feel like you need to be rushed into making an altar, rushed into, establishing a connection with your ancestor. I'm just here to give you the knowledge and some of the tools so that you can at least be on the right direction. Now, this group is going to, I have like two main groups that are doing the Hoodoo challenge. The first group is the ones that are in my mentorship program. They are doing it, but they're not doing it on IG in the chat. They are doing it within the Facebook page that I have for the mentees. And then I have the second group, the ones that are doing it within the group chat on Instagram. Y'all are getting the same information. So mentees, I understand some of this stuff is going to be something that you already know. I'm just here to let you know this is a recap. This is a recap, and y'all will be asked questions. Y'all will be quizzed. Take it as a recap, and y'all already know if y'all have any questions, or you want me to elaborate deeper. Absolutely. Now, some of these topics, I'm just going to hit surface level. Some of these topics, I'm going to go a little bit more deeper. If you are in my Patreon group, then some of this stuff you have already heard, or you already know. I branched it off into multiple series. And with altar spaces, this is one that is on Patreon, but it is branched off into, I guess, like many different series. So let's start off with day one. Altar spaces. Now, like I said, I'm going to keep this one just strictly talking about the ancestors because that is one of the first altars. If you have an altar, that's one of the first ones that you're going to put up. Now, you are the altar. I want you to remember that you are the altar. You are an extension of your ancestors. Everything you do is going to always go back to them. When you heal yourself, you're healing them. When you notice that you are the walking spell, or not even notice, when you learn that you are the altar, you are then connecting with your ancestors. When you are moving about as if you are the spell, which you are the walking spell, then you'll realize that everything is easier to attract. You are the altar. But in Hoodoo, we do have an actual altar that you can curate so that you can further connect deeper with your ancestors. Now, the power that resides in and through Hoodoo practice comes directly from the strength, the endurance, and the wisdom of those who came before us. That's why it is so important in establishing a relationship with our ancestor. It is so vital to the success of every working, every charm, every trick, every root, every candle burning used in that tradition. Everything we give life to, and all that life is further amplified and further propelled from the ancestors. Without the assistance of our ancestors, trying to perform these workings is like shooting in the dark, child. It's like trying to paint your toes blind. It's like it's a waste of time, and it's a waste of energy. Our ancestors didn't just power magic. They don't just power magical workings. They are also the guidance that leads our steps so that we can avoid negative situations, backfires, and also recover from mistakes quickly. The real strength of the root doctors, the root workers, the seers, the two-headed doctors, the real strength of the conjurers comes from the foresight provided by the ancestors through the ancestor altar. And with that being said, I want to talk about the ancestor altar and also teach you guys how to set it up. Now, this setting up or creating an ancestor altar can seem overwhelming. It can seem very daunting or a daunting task, but it's so easy, y'all. It's so easy. And it's one of the first steps to connecting with your ancestors. And it's one of the, and believe it or not, it's one of the most, I guess, often skipped step when people or when newcomers come into the hoodoo practice. A lot of times I hear people that come in and they automatically start doing workings. They automatically start doing whatever the case may be, but they have yet to heal. They have yet to connect with their ancestors. They have yet to establish that connection and elevate them. They have yet to learn the basics of hoodoo. And one of the basics is ancestor veneration, ancestor elevation. And that should be one of your first steps that you do. Now, let's talk about where to put this altar. Now, the one thing you want to do is find a place that is relatively low in traffic, that a lot of people will not see your altar. Your ancestor altar technically is not supposed to be seen by anybody else, especially no one outside of your lineage. Shucks, I even go as far as saying that some of your ancestors, some of your family members shouldn't even technically be seeing your altar either. I know, like, for me, it's very few people that can come and see my altar. Very few family members that come and see my altar. Other family members, if they come over, I don't have that many people in my house anyway. So let's start there. And when I know people are coming, I cover it up. I just take a white cloth and I throw the white cloth over the altar and I cover it up to keep it sacred. You can use a closet if you have that extra space. You can use an extra room. If you have the extra room, you just want to ensure that it is safe and hidden from questioning eyes and questioning hands, y'all. Now, I will say it is very important that you don't put your altar in your bedroom. What I will say, though, and I'm going to say this very, very loosely, what I will say is, if that is the only space that you have that is sacred, do it. There was a point in time where I had to put my ancestor altar in my bedroom. I did some of the best work putting my ancestor altar in my bedroom. I will say, though, when I was able to have extra room and things as such, easy for me, I just moved them out. They are now in my living room because, like I told y'all, I don't have a lot of people that comes in and throughout my apartment. And if I do have people, I cover it up with a white cloth. You just have to remember that your altar will become a point of spiritual activity, spiritual gravity, a highway for your benevolent spirits to come in and travel through. And they will alter your sleeping pattern. They will alter the messages that you get in your dream if they are in your bedroom. So I did want to give that disclaimer. Now, once you decided on an area that you want to put the altar, it is now time to get you a table. I recommend finding a table that is made of natural materials. A wooden table is perfect for this. My first altar was on a glass table. That is acceptable. But if you have a wooden table, that's perfect. How big you want your altar or how small you want your altar is up to you. I started off with a nice end table. You can have it as big as you want, as small as you want. That is up to you. I do like to kneel in front of my ancestor altars at times, so I don't like it too high. But if you just have a small end table, that's perfect. The first thing you are going to do once you have your area, have your table, you are now going to clean it. I like to clean it physically first. I do like to use ammonia. If you know, ammonia is very good at removing any type of negative energy, any type of hexes, curses, roots. If you know, you know. And if you are in Facebook, then you know. If you are in my Patreon, then you already know how strong of a cleansing solution ammonia can be. After I cleanse with ammonia, I like to then spiritually cleanse the area. So you can get Florida water. We are going to talk about Florida water later on. I am a big advocate of homemade Florida water. I don't like the store-bought ones. I'll tell you the history of Florida water, how you can make your own later on in the month. I do like to wipe it down with Florida water. I'll do wipe in a clockwise motions because I am inviting. Clockwise is inviting, counterclockwise is repelling. I am inviting. After I let it air dry, I do pray over the table. Now, before I move on to the next step, we are now going to talk about activating. In Hoodoo, we bless or consecrate everything. Consecration is just the act of blessing something. We consecrate it. You can buy as many spiritual tools as you want. You can buy spiritual oils. You can buy candles. You can buy, I don't care what you buy that you plan to use spiritually. A lot of people don't bless their stuff. It is dead until you activate it. You speak life into it. And that goes for the herbs, roots, candles, oils. It don't matter. We consecrate everything in Hoodoo. Every single thing gets consecrated because we know that until we speak life into it, it is dead. So when you go to pray over that table, you are blessing it as a holy space. You are blessing it as the space for your benevolent ancestors to come in. If your table is made of a natural element such as wood, I do like to put a little bit of I have two oils that I like to use. My first one is higher power. Higher power is for spiritual communication, spiritual protection, things as such. So I do like to put that down. And or Van Van. Van Van is a Hoodoo oil. We talk about Hoodoo oils later. Once that is all done, you prayed upon it, you blessed it, you activated it for your ancestor altar. You are now going to find a cloth. You're going to dress your altar. The first thing I will always say, if this is your first time putting an altar together, use white. White represents purity, cleansiness. Use white. You can use whatever you want. I just would suggest that you use white since this is your first time. Eventually, once you start to get more activated or acclimated, I should say, with your altar, you would then start probably choosing other things and such. Like I like to decorate my altars for the season. Like right now it's October, so we know Halloween's about to come up, so I'm about to decorate their altar for Halloween. But I would say try to start with a white cloth. I would suggest doing some sort of cotton. We know how cotton material, we know that is, well, if you don't know, cotton is, one, it's a cash crop, so it's good for money workings, but cotton is also good for ancestral healing. I go deeper into that on Patreon. Now, the first item that you should put down on your ancestor altar is an item of protection. I like to do the Bible, so I put the Bible down. I like to do a small Bible. You don't want your Bible just huge and taking up a whole bunch of space. I like to do just a small Bible. I like to put it in the center of the altar. Remember that the Bible is a spell book. Words are spells. I'm pretty sure you're going to use that Bible a lot as you are doing workings at that altar. And also more than likely, a lot of your ancestors are Christian, and they will probably respond better in Bible verses than anything else. Second thing you want to place down is a 7-day candle. The 7-day candle is going to represent the fire element. You do want a representation of each of the element on the altar. We have to remember that the altar is, or not even the altar, Hoodoo is very elemental forward. We do use all of the elements within this practice. So we are going to keep the same when we are doing building altars. Fire, you're going to put that 7-day candle. It should be white. I like to keep white. Every now and then I'll do like purple or blue, but Majority of the time, you're going to see a white altar. I'm going to keep a white altar on my white candle on my altar. We have to remember that the white purity, cleanliness, also that candlelight is going to provide our ancestors with illumination, and it's going to be the beacon that draws the spirits closer to us. That white candle will stay lit at all times, so you need to go ahead and stock up on your white candles. Dollar Tree is perfect for 7-day white candles. If you want to get it anywhere else, go to the Botanica. It's up to you. I get mine from Dollar Tree. And I do make candles. I used to make them and sell them. So every now and then I will go ahead and I will get in, I guess my team will tell me that they want a homemade candle. So I will make them candles. But a lot of times I do get them from Dollar Tree. I stock up on the light. Do not light this candle until your altar is completely set up. So just put the candle on there. That candle, you need to go, before you put it on there, you need to clean it, cleanse it, bless it. Nothing goes on that altar until it is clean, cleansed, blessed. Cleaning physically, cleansed, spiritually, blessed, divinely. Remember that. Now, after the candle has been placed on the altar, the next step is the water element. So now you want to go ahead and get you a nice glass of water. Some other things you can put up there, maybe coffee. I do like to put coffee on my altar. Don't do that just yet. Y'all gonna stick with water for now if you are new. Water holds energy. We have to remember that. Water holds energy, and bodies of water have been thought of as points of entrance between the spiritual realm and the physical realm. So we place water on our altars to lubricate and facilitate a stronger connection with our ancestors, who we call on this altar. The next thing you are going to put is an air element. So for air, you can put bells. Bells is a great way to call them in. And it also is a representation of the air element. And I also like to do incense. The only type of incense I like to light on this altar is road opening incense, frankincense, myrrh, lemongrass. I like to keep it very cleansing, very divinely protected. We keep it demure. So I do like to keep those incense on the altar. And then lastly, we have the earth element. You can put flowers, plants, crystals. I would suggest not doing crystals, just because if you want to keep it very traditional, our ancestors did not really use crystals. Or dimes and pennies. Those are all physical representations of the earth element. If you are going to do plants, if you are going to do flowers, make sure that you are tending to them. Okay, tending to them. You want to make sure that the flowers are going to be changed out when them things die. Okay. Now, lastly, one of the last things you can put up there is your ancestors. If you have pictures of them, you can put them up there. If you have, I also suggest putting a little small notebook, just a small notebook, so that as you are starting to connect with them and they are starting to step up and you're starting to work with them, you can start writing the names down of the ancestors that you know is up on that altar. So, and don't worry if you don't have any pictures there. Other things can be put up there too that can add strength to the connection. Now, I want to also say that is more of a intermediate setup. If you don't have any of that stuff, please remember that Hoodoo was also made to be practical and simple. So you can use or you can just do a candle, a Bible, and water. If you can't afford anything extra, you don't have that space to work with, start with the basic setup. Candle, water, Bible. Everything else is extra. Now, if you want to learn how to work at it, elevation of ancestors, because just putting up the ancestor altar is the first step. If you want to learn how to elevate your ancestors, working with your ancestors, different offerings to give to the ancestors, anything that is dealing with connecting with your ancestors, My mentorship is open. I am taking new mentees starting in November. So DM me on IG separately if you wish to be a part of the mentorship program and connect deeper with your ancestors. But I just wanted to give you guys a simple setup for your ancestor altars. I will say that is one of many altars that you can have. I have my ancestor altar. I have my money altar. I have a beauty/luxury altar. And then when you know how to just do workings and you know that you are the spell, your whole house or your whole home is a big altar within itself. Each area in your home holds a separate holds its own energy, and there's different things that you can do within each of the rooms that corresponds with different areas within your life. One thing that I always say is the kitchen is the biggest altar that you have, and that is an altar where you will connect with those big mama spirits. So I have more of that on Patreon. That's only $7.77 to join if you wish to see more of that. Outside of that, I hope you guys enjoy day 1, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for day 2. I think day 2, I don't think it's going to be a voice message. It may just be me writing. I'm not sure yet, but I'll see y'all tomorrow.